Jai Breaker of this world's chain, we adore thee, whom all men love, spotless, taking man's form. O purifier, thou art above the gunas three, knowledge divine, not flesh, thou whom the cosmos wears, a diamond at its heart. Let us look deep in thine eyes, they are bright with the wisdom of God, that can wake us from Maya's spell. Let us hold fast to thy feet, treading the waves of the world to safety. O drunk with love, God drunken lover, in thee all paths of all yogas meet. Lord of the worlds, thou art ours, who wert born a child of our time, easy of access to us. O merciful, if we take any hold upon God in our prayer, it is by thy grace alone, since all thine austerities were practiced for our sake. How great was thy sacrifice, freely choosing thy birth in this prison, our iron age, to unchain us and set us free. Perfect, whom lust could not taint, nor passion nor gold draw near. O Master of all who renounce, fill our hearts full of love for thee. Thou hast finished with fear and with doubt, standing firm in the vision of God, refuge to all who have cast fame, fortune, and friends away. Without question thou shelterest us, and the world's great sea in its wrath seems shrunk to the puddle that fills the hoofprint in the clay. Speech cannot hold thee, nor mind, yet without thee we think not, nor speak. Love, who art partial to none, we are equal before thy sight. Take her away of our pain, we salute thee, though we are blind. Come to the heart's black cave, and illumine, thou light of the light.
Tava pada morning.
Today is an auspicious day, birthday of Swami Adbhutanandaji Maharaj, a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna and brother disciple of Swami Vivekananda. He was born in a remote place, in a remote village in the state of Bihar. The name of the district was Chhapra, but nobody knows actually when he was born. He was born in a very poor family, shepherd family. And there is a book by Swami Chaitanya, how a shepherd boy became a great saint. So we do not know exactly when he was born because he did not remember also, and most uneducated and illiterate parents, and they also died at a very young age. So there is no trace or any research actually could not find out. So it was decided, or with his consent, birthday of Swami Adbhutanandaji is celebrated on this Maghi Purnima. Maghi Purnima means this time, now we are having this February, March time. This is the time when the Indian month of Magh comes. So it was decided that his birthday will be celebrated on this full moon day of this month. So in that way, the tradition has come down. His connection to Sri Ramakrishna happened in this way. His parents died, so one of his uncles took care of him. He was very affectionate to him, and because of the poor family, his uncle came to Calcutta with him, and in those days, even probably today also, the poor people come to Calcutta to have some sort of job, and he was engaged as a home servant of one of the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna. His name was Ramchandra Datta. So he used to do household work, and he used to listen to many times about Sri Ramakrishna, and in that way he became interested in Sri Ramakrishna. And one day he asked Ramchandra Datta that, I would like to see that saint of whom you talk so much. So he went to Sri Ramakrishna and stayed there for some time as a devotee stays and became acquainted with him. And Sri Ramakrishna also became interested in him. He told Ramchandra Datta that this boy has a sign of spiritual, good sign is there in his appearance. So that being said, then they came back, and afterwards we see that he was very much moved by meeting Sri Ramakrishna and wanted to go back, and in that way afterwards he became very favorite of Sri Ramakrishna. At that time, Sri Ramakrishna was not in good health. He did yoga practices and all those things. His nephew used to take care of him, but because of some circumstances, he had to leave that job, and there was nobody to take care of him. So Sri Ramakrishna asked Ramchandra Datta that if this young boy stays with me, then he will be able to take care of me, and he seems to be a good boy. So in that way it worked. And Ramchandra Datta, being a great devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, consented, and since then he started living with Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna, as we know, that he had a sort of what is called spiritual persons are a sort of all-knowing person, but Sri Ramakrishna had a knack by seeing the signs, or somehow or other he could figure out the spiritual content of individuals. So in that way he became interested and started training him in spirituality, gave him initiation, asked him to do meditation, and along with that he used to do the household work also. Household work means that taking care of Sri Ramakrishna. In those days, because of the social customs, Holy Mother Sarada Devi, who used to cook and took other care of Sri Ramakrishna, she did not come out too much. So he became a go-between the devotees and Sri Ramakrishna, and Holy Mother Sarada Devi also felt very comfortable with him. So he used to do some laborious household work, like what is called making the dough and all those things, and also bringing groceries and all those stuff. So he used to do. In that way, he became a very favorite of Holy Mother, and at the same time, Sri Ramakrishna. So time went on in that way, and after we see that when Sri Ramakrishna fell ill, he accompanied him to Calcutta. He was brought to Calcutta first in Shampur, then in Kashipur. And naturally, Sri Ramakrishna required many help because of his health condition. Other devotees used to take care, in a sense, that means they used to supply the things that were necessary for his household, and also medicine and doctor, outside things. And his personal services used to be done by these young disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, and one of them was this Swami Adbhutananda. Incidentally, his pre-monastic name was Rakturam, and in that way it was shortened to Latu, and everybody used to know him, used to call him Latu. Sri Ramakrishna also used to call him Latu. Sri Ramakrishna passed on, so naturally he had to go back to the household. But later on, when Swami Vivekananda started the Baranagar monastery, he came back there and started doing spiritual practice. And in the meantime, after the passing away of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sarada Devi went to a pilgrimage. It was custom, that means young widows in those days, just to assuage the sorrow, they took a pilgrimages and used to go to holy places. In that way, she went for a pilgrimage to Varanasi, then Vrindavan, and on a few other places, and he actually accompanied her. So after spending the time in the pilgrimages, he came back and started living in Baranagar monastery. There he started doing spiritual practices. And in the meantime, Swami Vivekananda, Narendranath, under the instruction of Sri Ramakrishna, started this Baranagar monastery and gathered all these young disciples of Sri Ramakrishna who had taken initiation, and Sri Ramakrishna had pointed out that these boys should not go back to home. So Narendranath actually took care of them and started that monastery, and they took vow of monasticism, and in that way, as the custom is, that they changed their names to monastic names, and he was given the name Swami Adbhutananda. as I told you, that he was completely illiterate, and Sri Ramakrishna himself wanted to make him literate. He tried hard to teach him the alphabets and pronunciations and all those things. Somehow or other it did not work. Later on, Sri Ramakrishna himself became very much, what is called, dejected. That means a failure was, he could not really train him in any way, so he remained illiterate throughout his life. But that did not really affect his spirituality. That's the most important thing. We usually believe that to become a spiritual person, we need to have studied the scriptures and also learn many things like puja and all those things. But in case of Swami Adbhutananda, we see that those things actually, we find that is not the essential thing of spirituality. They may be helpful, but in spirituality, spiritual practice is the most important thing according to the teachings of the Guru. So he actually embodied that. That means Sri Ramakrishna, it is said that Swami Adbhutananda is a miracle of Sri Ramakrishna. Because all other devotees, especially the monastic disciples, were very well educated. And you can imagine Swami Vivekananda also. That means, other than the education, Sri Ramakrishna himself had said that he had 18 powers, which is very rare, or it cannot be seen in any person. So he had so many powers. But he actually was equal in what is called in the status of spirituality, or rather, Swami Adbhutananda was almost equal to him in spiritual practices and also in spiritual attainment. That is the point. And Swami Vivekananda also recognized that. That means he never really thought that because he was not educated, he is what it is called less important. That is not there. He, in many times after returning from West, he took Swami Adbhutananda with him in different tours also. And in that way, he was very much affectionate to him. Unfortunately, the rigorous disciplines of the monastic order, that means of the mott, as it is called, that means that was not he could not really took to that habit, so he had to be exempted from that type of rigorous discipline, and Swami Vivekananda understood that. So most of the time we see that he did not stay in the monastery, but he used to live in different holy places, especially in temples and such other places, and also for a long time he stayed with some devotees, especially Balaram Bose was a great devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, and in that way he stayed with different. And later on, towards the end of his life, we see that he went to Varanasi and spent the rest of his life there. And there also, he did not stay in the monastery. He used to live with some in some temple or some devotee's place. In that way, rest of the time, rest of his life actually spent in that way. When he became very sick, of course, he was brought to that what is called in the Shevashram, which is the hospital in Benares, and devotees and monks took care of him. So in this way, his life is unique, and that is and also very important from the point of view to learn how spirituality is really something which is which can be acquired by anybody if a person has the sincerity. So some of his spiritual gems, as it is called, that means he used to talk. Being an illiterate, he doesn't have any book or letter or something, but people used to acquaint him for spiritual practices, get instruction. But he was very good, and also some of his teachings are also very helpful to us. So some of the teachings I would like to share in this short talk. Okay, let me quote one from a letter. That means at the time of his leaving the body, Josephine MacLeod was there. She had the opportunity of seeing the death of Swami Adbhutananda. So at that time, Swami Turiyananda was in this country. So regarding his death, Swami Turiyananda was in Benares, and Miss MacLeod was in this country. So she knew Swami Adbhutananda. So about his death, Swami Turiyananda wrote a letter. So in that letter he mentions, he showed no signs of pain during his illness. But the wonder of all wonders was that after this death, when his body was placed in a sitting position to conform with some of the funeral rites, we found him looking so beautiful, so serene, so full of peace and bliss. His face beamed with light and an intelligence unspeakable, as if he were taking leave from his friends for the last time with an exhortation of affectionate benediction. These are the words of Swami Turiyananda when he wrote about him. Now some of the teachings are really his teachings were written down by one Swami Siddhananda, who had the opportunity of serving him. And also I think some householder devotees also had some collection. But some of the teachings you will find as how illuminating are there. So he is saying, Adbhutananda, being illiterate, did not write any books. His teachings and discourses have been recorded by his disciples and devotees. Swami Adbhutananda taught that, quote, the true being in man is ever free, ever pure, and remains ever untouched by good or evil. Good and evil have no absolute reality. They exist only so long as man identifies himself with the ego, the false self. When the ego is completely annihilated, man is freed from the false knowledge of duality or relativity, of good and evil. You can imagine that this exhortation cannot come from a person who has not realized one's true self. Then he says, what is the use of prayer and meditation if there is no dependence on him? Everything else is useless if this is lacking. Then he says, it is a great sin to find fault with others. Those who never do a good act themselves, who easily see defects in others and energetically spread rumors. Let me repeat. It is a great sin to find fault with others. Those who never do a good act themselves, who easily see defects in others and energetically spread rumors. It is better to continue calling on the Lord devotedly than to know, speak, and preach 1,001 religious cants and shibboleths. So these are the things that are there, and also there is some other teachings that are quite enlightening. Swami Prabhupada, he is connected with this place. So he has also one saying in the Sermon on the Mount, according to Vedanta, he writes, one day several young monks came across a difficult passage in Upanishads, the ancient scriptures of the Hindus. They could not understand it. Always they referred to a number of commentaries. Finally, they asked Adbhutananda for an explanation. As he did not know Sanskrit, the young monks phrased the passage in this vernacular. Adbhutananda thought for a moment, then he said, quote, I have got it. Using a simple illustration, he explained the passage to them, and they found wonderful meaning in it. In God lived with him, you'll find a lot of information about him. In another place, there is one saying, the first teaching he heard was God sees into the mind of the mind of a man, without concern for what he is or where he is. He who yearns for God and wants none other than God, to such a man God reveals himself. One should call on him with a simple and innocent heart. Without sincere longing, none can see God. One should pray to him in solitude and weep for him. Only then will he bestow his mercy. So in this way we see that Swami Advaita, this is what is called, there is not much material about him, but definitely there is more material than I said to you. So his life is an ideal life and an inspiration for anybody. Anybody in a sense, that means if such a person who was completely illiterate and just by the touch of Sri Ramakrishna became a Brahmagna, as it is called, that means knower of true self. So naturally we can think that at least we have that opportunity of studying and knowing and all those things. It will be possible for us also to have spiritual knowledge, and we can strive for that also. Thank you very much.